Hey, hey, it's a new week and I have a new obsession that I've been pondering all weekend, food halls. I am just, this is like my new favorite thing. And I wanted to talk about it. I went to one on Friday. I took my friend Brandy to lunch and for her birthday, and we went to Charlotte, and that's where she lives, and I drove over there and we went to Optimist Hall, which I love that it's called Optimist, I love all things optimistic. So that was great. And we went and it was super fun. And it just reminded me of how much I love food courts in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s and going to the mall, like looking for friends, like, checking out boys, all the things that we did at the food court, hanging out for hours and hours and hours. Such a good memory and such a good place to do that, right? Like the central kind of hangout place. And so the food court is just so reminiscent of those vibes, and I'm so glad it's coming back. So we went to Optimist Hall, and I loved it. Like a few things I love about this concept, right? Like it's a growing concept. I love that they're using warehouses and buildings that aren't in use. So that's like great, right? Like recycling and bringing some life back to the space. All of these different kiosks are just so cool. Like, Brandy was telling me, oh, those people have a food truck in Charlotte, and these people also have a food truck, but now they have this permanent space. And I love that, like, we're creating like this collective entrepreneurial space to help these restaurants that had a food truck, but maybe they really wanted their own space. It was just too expensive to build out, a standalone store or restaurant, that type of thing. So it's like you get this collective space, plus all of these different people show up that can experience it, that maybe didn't know they wanted dumplings or empanadas or whatever. So I just love that like community restaurant vibe is there. That's very special. And then the other part is just, like I said, it was kind of like the 80s when you're just going and hanging out with your friends. I love the kind of communal hangout aspect. No one's trying to rush you from your table or anything. Like at a restaurant, you kind of need to get in and out. You can hang out, you can meet your friends, you can meet new people, you can talk to strangers that you're sitting next to. It's just such a cool thing. And I think, in the world where there's like more loneliness than ever, that's what the studies say. And I think it's a great space. We need more of those community spaces to kind of go interact with other folks, which is really important to our mental health, and it makes your life more joyful. So I love that part about it. And the last thing that I was going to mention is that I have been trying to, this just done last week. I was like, I really want to spend a little less time scrolling on my phone, kind of not intentionally. So I have a lot of like creators and friends that I want to catch up with, so I'll check them out. Like, there's people I watch videos every week. So I still want to do that. But then there's those times where you sort of wander off the path into, hours and hours of just like looking at nothing. And it's okay. I think it's okay to wander a little bit because that's how you find new things, right? And new things are great. But sometimes it can, you're like, wow, did I just spend 2 hours doing that? When maybe I should be outside interacting with some other humans in the world. So anyway, that's just something I've been trying, and it was great because I went to the food hall and I just said, I'm not going to pick up my phone. I'm going to sit here. got there like half an hour early, and I was like, I'm going to sit here and just look around, and I'm going to enjoy the people and smile at people, interact with just the space. There was like an area of plants, and I was like, I'm gonna go sit here and look at these plants and look outside. It was just really fun to sort of not be heads down in a different world and be in the one that you're in. So big fan of food hall movement. And if you have one in your town, definitely go spend more time there. It really is kind of, I love a coffee shop too, but this is like taking it to the next level, right? It's like big and beyond, and you get so many cool people and so many yummy things to eat. And yeah, so that's my new favorite thing I've been thinking about. Maybe I should build one here where I live. Interesting idea. I will ponder that. And y'all have a great week thinking about food halls, and maybe find one near you. You can go explore next weekend. All right, have a good one. Bye.